This is how I set up my Ricoh GR3X, which applies for the Ricoh GR3 as well, in a very simple way to enjoy street photography. When I started my research for this specific video, I looked around to see how other Ricoh GR3 users are setting up their cameras. You know what I found? Complexity. Too much complexity. And I wonder how people are able to remember all of those settings, all of those features they have set, and at the same time enjoy their photography. I appreciate simplicity in my process because it allows me to immerse myself into the experience of taking photos. So I wondered, how can I set up my Ricoh GR in a very straightforward manner that will not distract me from the joy of street photography? Let's start by simplifying the display with one word: decluttering. First, head to the shooting info display and uncheck everything. Next, in the second column, select only LCD display, grid guide and electronic level. Now, if you look at the screen, you will see only the essential information at the bottom. So we have kept the shooting mode, the ISO, the shutter speed, the aperture, the light metering and the electronic level. That's all you really need. Now, in terms of the grid lines, you can put a 3x3 or a 4x4, but in my opinion, they're a bit distracting. If you are just starting, if you're a beginner, they are good. I would suggest you have them there because they can help you compose your photo, especially with the rule of thirds. But otherwise, I don't see the reason why we should have more lines obstructing our scene. Let's dive into customizing the buttons. First, you need to set the subscribe button under the video to subscribed and then the bell to all. This is very important. Now I have to confess that most of the times I shoot in full manual mode, and I know this is a bit intimidating in the beginning, but after some practice and after you get comfortable with it, you can really see the advantages. So therefore I set my mode wheel always to manual mode, which is the letter M. For this setup, I've chosen the custom one setting in the manual mode dial setting, which assigns the front wheel to control aperture and the rear wheel to adjust shutter speed. This configuration works exactly like I want it for my style of photography. Before we dive into the rest of the buttons, you have to click the like button under the video, and then we need to discuss a bit about the different focus modes of the camera first. Ricoh offers a range of focusing features, including classic ones like select autofocus and more advanced ones like proper tracking autofocus. However, what sets this camera apart is the unique snap autofocus. This handy feature allows you to pre-focus the camera at different distances: 1 meter, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5 and 5 meters. By deep pressing the shutter button without focusing first, the snap autofocus activates. To enable this, ensure the full press snap option is on in the focus settings. You can always keep it on or opt for another focus mode, but you can still use it if you fully press the shutter button without doing the half pressing to focus. So overall, it is quite simple to jump from one focus mode to the other, and this is why I keep my focus modes in the function button, but most of the time I leave in the select autofocus mode and I use the touchscreen to help me focus quickly. However, if I want to refine my focusing, I press the OK button and then a symbol appears on the left of the screen that indicates that I can now use the selection wheel to refine my focus points. Additionally, to check focus closely, I hold down the DSP button to zoom in 4 times. While I rarely use the manual focus because I don't like how the wheel feels, it's quite slow and impractical, I have set the movie mode button to manual focus just in case I need it, and also because I almost never use this camera for video. So I'm using the select autofocus most of the time, and I have set my snap focusing at 2.5 meters, which I can use at the same time if I'm set at the select autofocus mode by full pressing the shutter button. What is your preference? Do you prefer manual mode? Do you prefer aperture priority or something else? Many people have tried to convince me that aperture priority is better than manual mode, but they haven't succeeded. Let's see, can you do it down in the comments? Now, as I said, I prefer shooting in full manual mode, so I keep my ISO full manual as well. I leave it at the button as it is set from the camera, and then if I want to change that, just click on this button and then quickly change it from 100 to whatever else I want. Now for the drive mode, I also leave it where it is set by the camera, but I set it to continuous shooting mode. I don't always shoot continuously because sometimes I just click once quickly and I take only one photo, but this way I can have the best of both worlds. Additionally, I absolutely love this feature of the Ricoh GR3. Unlike other cameras like the Fuji X-T3, which can only do 2 exposures, the Ricoh GR3 can do multi-exposure shots, which means that if you are in a creative mood, the Ricoh GR3 can take you down some very exciting avenues. Now, in terms of the white balance, I leave it in auto because I shoot in RAW, so if I have any issues with the white balance, I come back to the computer and then I fix it in post-processing. But to be honest, I've never really had any problems with the white balance before. Now let's dive into the menu to make 4 crucial changes that will enhance your photographic experience. Number 1, I set the file format to RAW. Don't shoot JPEG even if you're not planning to edit your photos, because you might want to edit them in the future and then it will be too late. Number 2, I set the ND filter to off because I don't want it to mess with my photos if it is not necessary. Now, if you want to do something more creative like long exposures in daylight, then you set it to on, never in automatic. Number 3, I recommend changing the sound effects from all to shutter only and the volume to 1. This way you will have an indication that you have taken a photo and at the same time you won't disturb people around you, and it will not be a dead giveaway that you are taking a photo. Number 4, I disable the autofocus assist light. I don't even know why it's there, but it's a dead giveaway for a street photographer that you're taking a photo. You can disturb people, you can make people feel uncomfortable if you're using it. So I suggest if you want to be discreet and be low key in the streets, just turn it off. And here are 2 bonus features that you may or may not want to change. The first will give a little bit extra battery without any serious compromises. You need to go to settings and find power button lamp and turn it off. This will turn off this little light here and it will extend the battery life. The second one is for those that want to get everything perfect in camera. You can activate the horizon correction feature of the Ricoh, and then the camera will activate its internal motors and try to fix any slight tilt in the image if you're shooting handheld. If you want to watch my impressions of the Ricoh GR3 after 3 months of daily use, click and watch this next video here. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the streets. Bye bye.